You're listening to the Bible Belt Bros podcast with my dad and his dumb friend. Enjoy!
So, you got 7 minutes to lock? Think you're going to get it in?
Well, your brother's supposed to be sending me some lineup options. I have not had time to check it today, so I'm going by my own knowledge, which sometimes does work out.
Yeah, it would have worked out. Well, it sort of worked out yesterday for you.
So what we're talking about here is we both play the one-day fantasy leagues that's currently getting to become illegal in a lot of states. Currently, we are in Oklahoma, and we surprisingly don't care as much
In
about
Oklahoma. Yeah, it is very weird.
So we're in the Bible Belt, and gambling is this huge issue. But
Yeah.
just not. There's more important things in the world than worrying about who's getting paid for what when it comes to this FanDuel. Or DraftKings. You play DraftKings more than I do.
Right. And it's only because I one time put money on it and I never spent it. But that money's gone, so I'm really done playing. I only put $10 on there. I was up to 20. I was actually up to $21, so I still have $1 on there. But I do the go big or go home method.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, well, I just don't care.
So you're going home.
I still have $1.
Uh-huh.
But then the one you use, FanDuel, it has a free one every day.
Yeah, so you just play it for fun.
Yeah.
And we can do free games with just our friends every day. We can set up our own league. We can put money in it if we wanted to, or we could just not.
Yeah, I don't pay attention enough. Maybe if
Andrew, I want to take your money. Join the league with me.
Maybe if I had a TV in which I could, watch sports and maybe keep up with stuff, I would do that. But
I really listen to just a lot of podcasts and just a lot of sports talk radio stuff, and it seems to help me. I have places that I look for ideas of lineup options, and
well, I listen to this podcast a lot.
you do?
Mainly in editing.
You listening? Okay, I was gonna do you listen to this podcast yourself? That's kind of weird.
So you've been a globetrotter the last few weeks.
Yeah, a globetrotter, maybe a state trotter.
Well, I mean, it's still on the globe, isn't it?
Yes.
So you're a globetrotter.
Whatever.
Yeah. You've been how many states and how many weeks?
Okay, well, I've been in 4 different states in 3.5 weeks. Go me.
That's pretty
I've,
big for Dusty, seeing that he hardly ever leaves Tulsa.
I know. I'm a homebody kind of guy. And so I went to Houston to visit some family. My wife was sent there on a work trip. And so we got her tickets and rental car paid for. And so I just tagged along and stayed a couple extra days in Houston with family and get back. And then the next weekend I went and visited my mom in Missouri, which I don't do as often as I should.
Neither do I.
And my dad. My mom and my dad in Missouri. But really they don't even care if I come. It's just a grandkid that they care about. So visited them. And then I get a call the next week in the middle of the week saying, "Hey, your grandma in Iowa is in the hospital." Come to find out, she has like brain cancer, and it's pretty serious, stage 4. And so we're all kind of freaking out, and it sucks, but I have some guilt of not going up there as often as I should. It's a good 10 hours to my grandma and grandpa, or my grandma up there, and 10 hours back. So I just went and visited them, and had just a quick trip up there and a quick trip back. Nothing too crazy. But really the crazy thing was, okay, so we're all sad that my grandma has been diagnosed with brain cancer. Come to find out, we're all mad at her now because she was diagnosed last year and she didn't tell anybody. And so it's just kind of, and she's not taking any really treatment for it. And so it's just kind of like, what the heck? We're mad at her, but at the same time we're mad at ourselves because we don't visit as often as we should. Though there's the road goes both ways, but
Well, sort of. I mean, when you're that old, it's hard to travel,
yeah.
especially if you have brain cancer.
Well, okay, it's been like 13 or 14 years since I went to Iowa before this weekend. And so then
Wasn't the last? Didn't I go with you last time you went?
you might have, I can't remember.
Was it your Uncle Chuck's?
Yeah.
Yep.
That might have been it. Uncle Chuck's wedding. So then Wednesday, my wife and I, we love the band Wren Collective. Have you seen them?
No. Sorry.
It's like a folky Irish worship stuff. And so they kind of we saw them 4 years ago, and when their first album came out, and like fell in love with them, and then they kind of got too big, and so they started touring with Chris Tomlin, and so we never went to any of their shows whenever they were close because, well, they're only going to play 5 songs when they open for Chris Tomlin, and it's just going to be a Chris Tomlin concert that we're going to. And so they were doing their own tour. It was at kind of a smaller church of like 500 probably is what it held. And they were the headline. So, and it was their tour, so they were in charge of everything. And dude, it was amazing. It was totally worth my wife and I pretending like we're still back in our 20s and can stay out late and do those kind of trips because
Did you go work out this morning?
I did not work out this morning. It was hard enough to come to your house to record a podcast because I'm tired.
Well,
And I met this guy from Mississippi
that's great.
that wanted to buy T-shirts from me. Did
he buy T-shirts?
He ended up becoming best friends with me, and we laughed at each other's jokes, and we exchanged some emails. So.
All right, that just got a little creepy, dude. I don't know which one of you is stalking which one, but still creepy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a great concert though. Like no regrets for going to that one for sure.
Well, that's great. But we gotta move on with the show, Dusty. So today we are talking.
You distracted me. My lineup's locked, and I didn't get to double check.
I didn't distract you. I didn't make you go on a 6-minute rant. Did you get who you wanted?
Well, I don't know.
All right. Well, let's go segue us into what we're talking about today: Christians and gambling.
If you gamble and you're a Christian,
raise your hand.
On you. Yeah, raise your hands.
Oh, I see you out there.
I see that hand.
Yep, I see that one over there to the left.
Just give to the church more than you gamble. You're okay.
So, Dusty, what do you think about gambling?
Well, I mean, for me, it's never been like I have an addictive personality, I guess. I have to play a FanDuel lineup every day. And so there's some addiction part of that. I was in Iowa, and it's illegal to play FanDuel, fantasy sports. It's illegal to do that in Iowa. And so I had to like call Andrew and say, dude, log into my account and set these lineups for me, which they lost.
Yes, so you...
all that work for nothing.
That's right.
But, so I have an addictive personality. I guess I've never like fallen off the deep end or even gotten close to the deep end. You know, I play like $1 or $2 a day for the most part. And so, I don't know. So, for me, I have no issue with it. You know, I feel like with everything, it's kind of moderation. You know, if it's toxic to yourself and to your relationship with God and your relationship with people, then you probably should not do it. And I strongly say the word probably. What about you, Andrew? Do you hit the sauce when it comes to gambling?
Well, I don't ever gamble. As far as gambling, the most gambling I do is, I guess, this DraftKings thing, because that is technically gambling. Other than that, I think the biggest gamble I take is eating my wife's cooking. That's about it.
Man, every day is just a gamble. We're not guaranteed the next moment of our lives.
Especially if you eat my wife's food.
I don't know. I guess she did surprise me with some brownies today when I walked in, but they were from Domino's.
Exactly.
So maybe that's why they were good.
Yes.
I don't know if I've had too many home cooked meals at your house.
Generally, if you're eating a home cooked meal here, I'm cooking, or I don't know. Lisa has some good dishes that she cooks.
She
but
does the dishes pretty good.
Yes.
She can put them in the dishwasher.
Yeah,
That's
she
good.
scrubs them before she puts them in there, and so they come out extra clean. She lives by the motto that a dishwasher is a sanitizer.
So what you should do is just take the dishwasher out, put a kegerator in there or something.
Oh, I would love to do that. That'd be nice. Actually, right there where
Like-
your arm's at,
Yeah,
best
That's
place
your-
for the kegerator.
that's a. Yeah, you could probably do that because I mean that's using her argument for you wanting something else in there. The dishwasher is only just for looks, basically.
It's just for sanitizing.
Which the soap and water when she's scrubbing the dishes sanitize it? Yes.
Well, the hot water sanitizes it afterwards, not the soap. The soap kills germs.
I was trying to help, Andrew, but you're refusing my help.
No, I
So
agreed
move
with
on.
your help, but I amended it. So other than that, the Bible doesn't directly say do not gamble.
There's gambling in there, isn't there? Cast your lots or something.
Casting lots, yes. But in the biblical times, casting lots wasn't necessarily gambling because there wasn't anything of value. What I understand about casting lots is they would take the bones of like a sheep or something, and they would roll them, when it came to kind of like make a decision. So like, do we want to go pizza or Domino's? Well, let's roll dice.
So that's a gamble.
It is a gamble, especially Domino's.
And I can't remember who it was. Your dad's gonna hate me because I tried to even attempt to tell this, but somebody in the Bible that was testing God by casting lots. But what if that's a gamble in itself. It's like saying I don't know where to go to school, and then all of a sudden you see a Sprite can, and so you're like, sweet, I'm going to Bowling Green because it's a green can.
Yeah, and what that was when they were testing God, is that was just denying His sovereignty.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, more of what that issue was in that passage. Not necessarily gambling.
I'm just saying he was gambling his future.
But then I do believe that gambling does kind of, devalue stewardship. I mean, we're definitely not being a good steward of our money.
Isn't putting our money in banks right now a gamble?
Right now, no. About 7 years ago, yes. But with our economy on the rise,
I've seen enough conspiracy theories to disprove that our economy's on the rise.
not to disprove it, because it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And so you've seen enough that, you could just start another conspiracy theory. Moving away from your conspiracy theories, another thing about gambling is it kind of takes away or defeats, the work ethic.
The work app? What?
Yeah, because we work to earn our what we have, and like our food. We work to clothe our family, to put a roof over our family's head. And, if we just go gamble and we lose all that money, I mean, it just kind of defeats all that.
I'm trying not to be an idiot, but isn't it working at companies and putting your investments into that company sometimes a gamble? If that company goes under, so does your retirement, so does your 401k, all that stuff.
Well, and see, that's why you should diversify. You shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, bro.
So it is a gamble to do that, though.
If you're that stupid, yes.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that have been that stupid in the past because you hear that a lot.
Well, stop being stupid then.
But, I mean, obviously that's not what we're talking about is life as a gamble. I don't know how it's my fault that we got on that little rant.
It's because you keep bringing it up.
Shut up, Anna.
Every time I say something, well, isn't this a gamble? Well, guess what? Driving your car is a gamble, Dusty.
But gambling in a casino can ruin your life.
Not even a casino. I mean,
Gambling on
you could take any sort of gambling, like the lottery. You could take
Yeah.
that to an extreme.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when the lottery was whatever $1 billion or whatever it was, I
Yeah.
think it's really funny when people are like, okay, now I'm going to buy a lottery ticket because $100 million, that's not
just-
very much, but
It's not worth it.
$1 billion, it's just come on now, like
Your odds don't increase.
exactly, and it's not more worth it now. $10,000 would be nice. Like come on, so for your $2 ticket, and so. That's just funny to me, but it is funny. You saw the craze of all these people buying hundreds of dollars worth of lottery tickets just to get a shot at it. I don't know if that takes away work ethic though, because you have to work to get the money to pay for the lottery ticket.
I'm not saying it takes it away. I said it devalues it.
Okay. Just like the kid with rich parents.
Who never had to earn that money, and so
But-
they don't know the true meaning of that.
For me, like I have no problem going to casino and dropping $20, $30 instead of going to the movies and dropping $20, $30.
Exactly.
That I'm okay with.
At least I have a chance on the return of my investments.
You have to work for that money at the casino, and they get free drinks, right? Like free pop and stuff.
Exactly.
So,
That's my favorite part about the casino.
Yeah. when you and I go, we take
When
the bikes out.
Right.
We'll stop at a casino and
Walk
in, grab some Dr Pepper, watch some ugly karaoke, and then we'll leave. It's a good pit stop,
or basketball.
or basketball, or whatever's on. But I mean, for some people, yes, they should not gamble because they can't control how much they gamble. They can't control. They can't take their bank card with them because they'll just keep going to the ATM to get more money out, thinking I'm gonna get it back. And so that's where like I've limited myself to like I set a dollar amount in my mind, and that's it.
As long as you don't budge on that dollar amount.
As long as you don't budge, yeah. And I've been able to not budge, or if I do budge, it's not by anything that's gonna hurt my family, and my wife is okay with it. It's not like a terrible thing for us.
Speaking of hurting your family, Lisa gave me permission to buy a $172 Xbox controller
What? Why
Right.
do you even need?
because it's the best Xbox controller ever, dude.
What?
Yeah, I almost bought it, and then I was like, man, I can't take away from my family, so I didn't buy it.
And so you bought a $600 gun instead.
No, I got that for my birthday, and it was $1,000.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that. My grandma is packing.
Heck yeah,
My grandma, because
go
she's
Granny.
like, every time I go to the Walmarts with your grandpa, he leaves me in the car. And you can't trust people nowadays. That's not how she talks, but
No, not at all, dude.
she kind of talks like that.
So, all right, another reason not to gamble. It's you're coveting something you don't have. Which, I mean, that's kind of like the 10th commandment, I believe.
It's like when that $1 billion came out.
Oh yeah.
How many people, how many of you guys listening, how many of us?
How many of you shared that stupid photo on Facebook?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my goodness.
I was just going to say, how many of us have thought, what would I do with that money?
Right.
Just for a moment, we all just kind of sat back and was like, we were all like, I'm going to be the best person in the world. I'm going to give so much of it away, all this stuff. So it's just funny. Like, we all kind of coveted that lifestyle a little bit. I myself included. Like, I thought, man, what would I do with $1 million? I know it was $1 billion, but I was $1 million.
So you hit 5 of the numbers.
Yeah,
only
exactly.
got
Oh
$1
yeah,
million.
there was somebody in Tulsa that did that,
Nice.
but not me. I'd probably pay off my schooling and my dental bills, and that covers it.
Yeah, you mean your laptop?
Yeah, my laptop that I got with my student loans with 0 credits.
So okay, now I'm saying a lot of stuff about gambling being wrong. I can't say gambling is right, But at the same time, I don't necessarily believe it's wrong. I believe it's wrong if you do it in excess, and if you take it away, or if you're taking away from what matters more, your family or your rent or your bills. I mean, you should put that stuff ahead. But you also hit on the head, dude. I'd rather take that $20 up to the casino rather than to a movie theater. I mean, I'm guaranteed to drop minimum $20 at a movie
At
theater.
least. And that's if you don't get popcorn and a drink.
Exactly. That's just tickets. That's from my wife, me, and my daughter.
Mhm.
They're about $8 a ticket. That's $24 right there. I'd rather go up to the casino with that. And it's not like
With your wife and just have a good time, just playing the slots together, playing cards, whatever you want to do.
That's right.
I don't go to too many casinos, but
Me play the penny slots for hours off of that.
yeah. Which to me is a little bit depressing. You just keep hitting that stupid dink, dink, dink. I mean, that's literally all it is. And then you try to snipe somebody's chair. There's some old ladies out there. They try to snipe you.
Oh yeah.
You go get a drink, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
they're winning money at your spot.
And then if you take their spot, they're hitting you over the head with their handbag.
And I've seen that firsthand. I mean,
Oh, I have too, because I worked at the casino.
It's dangerous. You better be packing.
I need your grandma.
I need grandma.
I need your grandma to be sniping these other grandmas. So, well, let's go wrap it up for this show.
Yeah.
Actually, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Not really. Just, I mean, for me, I gamble. I've been gambling since we started this podcast because I got my $5 bet
For what?
for FanDuel. I got a couple different lineups.
Oh,
$5 total.
This podcast. I thought you meant
Yes.
the show in general.
No, I got a $5 bet that the show is going to be over by the episode 20.
By episode 32.
32.
I don't know.
What made you think of that number?
I don't know. Number of greatness? I don't know.
just a random number.
Yeah.
32. 364.
All right. Well, let's go wrap it up for this show.
98.
We will catch you next week. Have a good one.
13.